Welcome to Adam's TV Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Samuel. Today, we are talking about America's Got Talent. It is another week of auditions. They've come and gone. We are going to be going over the auditions, all the contestants that have come through. Joining me for this recap, as always, is my co-host, Eric. How are you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing great. I had an awesome weekend. Was in Philly to see Katie's show. I promised everyone on Twitter that I'd do a little bit of a short recap of it. So I will open with that after. Yeah, it was just awesome. I had an awesome weekend.
Yes, Eric was texting me. He was sending me cool videos. It looked like a blast. I really wish that I could have gone to that concert. Is it true that did you get a chance to meet Katie herself, Eric?
Of course I did. I got to talk to Katie a bit. She knew me. She knew you. Katie's mom knew me, knew you. It was pretty cool. She's probably watching this right now. In fact, I know she is because she told me she would be. So hi.
Hi, Katie's mom. That was so cool. I actually got to FaceTime with Katie's mom, which was probably the highlight of my week, honestly. But Katie has a new album out, Eric, and
It's a new EP.
A new EP. You got to listen to the songs. What do you think about it?
Well, it's really good. I hope it does well for her. All 6 songs are great. They have a production that I think is radio ready. So if a radio station takes a chance on it, I think actually these songs could blow up, which is pretty cool. Some of my worries from like the previous couple songs that she released before the EP were that they were awesome, but they weren't radio ready. This EP, all songs are radio ready, and it's like, I really hope it does well for her. The show itself was amazing, by the way. Like, the coolest part was like seeing it was her first ever headlining show that she's ever done, and so it was really cool to see like how truly blown away she was by everyone knowing the lyrics to her songs and singing back to her. The show was like a giant sing along, and it was like pure joy is how I would describe it. It was really fun.
I hear she also has another show coming up where she's opening for another big headliner.
Megan Trainor. She's opening for her. Didn't get to ask her about that, but that sounds like it'll be a good opportunity. So good.
That's a pretty big deal. Like that's a huge news. Is she an opener or is she kind
just
of
for one show, as far as I could tell? But
well, I just want to say that Katie Turner and her mom we consider them friends of the podcast. So it's always good to hear when these stories kind of come true and they kind of get where they're going. And I just want to say on behalf of the podcast, we salute Katie Turner. You guys were always looking forward to new music from you.
Yep.
All right. Well, we are going to start to get into this recap of America's Got Talent. I did not watch the episode live. I actually only finished watching it recently. I was under the impression that I thought that there was going to be one more week of auditions, but apparently I was incorrect. Eric, can you clarify how the rest of these audition episodes are going to be going this season?
Well, thankfully I was wrong. There is only one more audition episode that's new after this one that we're talking about today. So we have 6 weeks of auditions total, which is still 1 week too many, but I'll take it. And we also have a clip show next week. So next week we will be off for a clip show. So we won't have a podcast next week. And then the week after we will do the last episode of auditions. So
I was so confused because what I thought was happening was that they were going to do a clip show, and then in that clip show, they were going to show the Golden Buzzer Act, which just didn't make sense to me. So this makes
that would have made a lot more sense than actually what they're going to do. But
well, at least there's one more. Well, I'm hoping still we're going to get some big acts, but I'm hoping that at least there's one episode maybe that we might get a big winner there. Do you think?
Probably not, but good luck with that.
All right. Well,
I think we've already seen the winner. I don't know who it is, but I think we've seen him or her.
Well, going into this episode, I have been very down on this season of America's Got Talent. I've been consistently saying that I'm not feeling some of these contestants. For me, this episode was kind of a bit of a change for me. This was probably my favorite episode of the season. Do you agree?
No.
Why don't you agree?
Because while some of the acts were pretty great, a lot of the great ones I've seen so many times before. I will say there were like 4 or 5 acts that I really enjoyed, but yeah.
Maybe it's just lowered expectations at this point.
For you it is, yeah. But for me, I've actually liked a lot of the other acts from other weeks, so this was a little bit of a letdown.
And I do want to say, this episode I'm going to be using my Adams TV podcast Golden Buzzer.
You are.
I am going to be using it this episode. I've as much as I hope that in that last episode we might see some last bigger acts, I feel like if I don't plant my flag at least somewhere, I might not have a chance to plant it at all.
I'm curious who you're going to use on. I have a hint, I have an inkling, but
there was actually 2 acts that I was kind of juggling between actually
and
going.
I think I know which they are, but we'll see which one you pick.
All right. Well, I will say, though I did enjoy this act, they are not the act getting my golden buzzer. First up, opening the show, was Nick and Lindsay. They are a married couple, and they kind of are painted as this loving. They have this really kind of cute moment where they talk to the judges about how they met, and the act kind of is painted as being like he's an opera singer, she's a violinist, and it's not that. Eric, what is it?
It's a knife throwing act. Yay. Honestly, the singing just made it really stupid to me because it's like opera singing and knife throwing are 2 things that might be good acts separately, but together it's like peanut butter and nails or something like that. It's like 2 things that do not belong together, and I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was really stupid.
I did kind of enjoy it. Maybe at this point I'm like watching the show through like those goggles that they put on like drunken goggles where I'm just kind of really trying to reach for it, but I actually really enjoyed this act, and I want to say I think there was a huge missed opportunity right here with the song choice, because I am not crazy enough to let someone throw knives at me, but if I was a singer, the perfect song for this kind of act is that song. It's like an opera song, No Regrets. Like that would have been the perfect song. Like as the woman's throwing knives at him. I just thought that would have been like a great idea. Would you have approved of that, Eric?
No, because it's still a stupid act, but it'd be a little bit better if the song was at least ironic.
I think you got to play that up. Like for an act like this, that's the way to go, because if you play it straight, it loses a bit of the thunder, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
For this act, where do you see them going? Do you think they make lives? Do you think they go further? No lives.
No lives.
Well, I enjoyed them. I'm hoping whenever I see knife acts, I always get nervous because America's Got Talent has primed me to believe that these acts don't always work out, as I've seen in the past. So I am a little nervous that the reason they're showing us them now, is that there might be something that happens in a later act, because otherwise this act kind of...
If someone dies on the show, we're not going to show that act.
We've never had someone die on America's Got Talent, thank God. The closest, though, was what happened with Ryan and Amber Lynn.
But that was at a live show, or we didn't know ahead of time. So
yeah, but hopefully everything goes well for them, because I do not want to see that. Even though Simon probably would love it for ratings.
Simon would not love that because no one would watch that. People would probably turn off the show and
not mention it.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, I enjoyed them. I think I need to start doing like a rating system for these acts. Like I'm going to like say.
Let's start that next round. Let's not do that now.
All right. Well, anyway, the next act we have up is a young dancing duo. It is Izzy and Easton. They are an 11 and 14-year-old dancer, and we've had this kind of act in the past, kind of multiple times, kind of this similar like archetype of what these kinds of acts are. They're the young kid dancers, but in kind of a unique twist that I don't think we've seen yet. They don't do the expected performances that are high energy, that are like the Bruno Mars up tempo, where it's like very like, I don't know, not just salsa, but like really high energy. This was a contemporary dance, and it had a bit of a story to it, and I'm going to pass it off to you, Eric. What do you think?
They're adorable, really quite talented. Not the type of thing I'd go out of my way to watch, but I'm happy they made it through.
I just found it a little refreshing that they were something that I was so expecting this to be something that it kind of ended up being something different. I'll be honest, I actually really enjoyed this act. I think it might be one of my favorites. I don't think they were one of the acts I was considering maybe going with the Golden Buzzer. I've decided on another act, but it was between the 2 of them. Maybe it's just because, like I said, I'm looking at what's left of the 1 week left. But yeah, I really enjoyed this act. I think if they don't get forced back into that bracket that these acts usually are pushed into, I could see them going far. I could see them bottom half of the finale.
I could as well. They were really good.
Which, if there wasn't one other act that kind of impressed me more, I would have given my golden buzzer to them because that's just how impressed I was with them.
Okay.
Do you have any final thoughts on them? Did you think they've got a chance? Do you think they can maybe?
Not really.
What do you?
I liked it, but I wasn't truly blown away by it.
Exactly. It was kind of a little bit like he's older. Like there's a big difference. Like she looks much younger and he's much taller. I don't know. Like were they? They of course they have to have been somewhere else. Were they on another show? Do you know?
I think they were, but I forget which one.
All right. Well, they are one of the few acts that I am somewhat rooting for at this point because just
we found something.
Well, there's one other act coming later that kind of is the big one for me. Any final thoughts on them?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's talk about this act. Probably would never. I just want to say I don't even know how to frame this. This was probably one of my favorite moments of the season. It is Lamont Landers. He is a singer, and he is our once a season. We always get this contestant. Simon Cowell loves these moments. He comes out on stage. He starts singing a song. Simon starts waving his hand, and he asks him to do a different song. But the thing is, this had a bit of a twist. What was the twist, Eric?
The guy came across pretty cocky, I'd say.
I don't think it was so much cocky.
It was.
You gotta put yourself into his shoes for a second. Like, he's probably been in a waiting room for all day. They probably, and what I've heard from past times, they probably aren't given that much food, or I don't know what's going on. I've heard.
Yes, I get it.
I would be a little pissed off too if
I know you would, and you wouldn't take shit from Simon. But if you're on the show and you want to get those, you have to take shit from Simon.
Yeah, but you can't judge a contestant. Like, as much as that is what the show is, you can't judge them based on 3 minutes on a stage in front of thousands of people. Like, that's not an accurate representation of what a person really is in real life. That's why, in my opinion, I enjoy the more smaller auditions, because you can there's not the pressure of the judgment of thousands of people watching you. It's just 3 people. But I love that he talked back to Simon. I love that. Like,
I know you did.
That was probably my favorite moment of the season because no one does that. And for that, I would have given him my golden buzzer also. He's not that one act I'm going to give it to, but just for that alone, to stand up to Simon, I was a fan. And I will vote for this contestant if he makes it to the live rounds.
You'll be one of very few.
I
don't think he's a shot after this, honestly. What pisses me off is when someone says to the crowd, "Hey, do you all want to hear more?" That just really bugs me.
That's why there shouldn't be a crowd. It should just be 3 people, the judges. Like,
agree to disagree on that. Honestly, the thing is, I'm gonna take his personality was probably edited, so I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on his voice. It's nice. Didn't like the first song choice. Problem with the second song is that Callum Scott is so much better than him. And because they're singing the same song and they have similar style, I'm comparing them directly. So I didn't really like it that much.
The thing is, these moments are just so manufactured for me. Like, I can't see it through a regular lens. Like, I can only see what's happening through the cynicism of what Simon is kind of manufacturing, because this is clearly, like, been thought out. I love that he talked back. But the second song, it was better. Like, would he, on an American Idol season, would he make finale night? No, he'd probably.
I don't think he'd make live shows.
Maybe early lives, but what I'm going to remember him for is actually being one of the few to ever stand up to Simon, and that, in my opinion, makes him a legend.
And that also makes him completely screwed for live shows. Anyway, next.
But at least it's something different. Would you rather everyone is pandering to Simon? That's what the show has been to this point. Like, at least one person.
If he wants to win, he has to cut the attitude.
All right. Well, I enjoyed this act.
People don't vote for people they don't like.
I will vote for him if he makes it to the live rounds.
Okay.
I will be the only one.
Yes,
I will be on that line.
So good luck to him.
I'm
sorry. I mean, I have no idea how much of it was editing, how much of it was manufacturing. I don't know. Let me stress that. But I kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Next.
Well, let's talk about death. How's that for a transition? Our next
How's that for an episode title?
Death is a comedian in the vein of Oliver Graves in the one-liner kind of comedian shtick, and he comes out on stage. He's all out. He is gone for it. And I right off the bat when he said that he currently rents a one-bedroom apartment in Burbank, I was rooting for this guy, and I was thinking, I think this might be like my act. Like this might be the one act. Like I love this kind of shtick. I love the ridiculousness of it. And he comes out on stage, and the first joke kind of flops. I don't think I laughed at every joke he told. I'll be honest. I thoroughly enjoyed this act. I would have given it a yes, but he ends up getting a no from all four judges. What did you think about him, Eric?
I watched my first joke, and then I saw they got 4 no's, and I'm like, yeah, I'll skip the rest. Honestly, the thing is, as sick as it is, this act called Death should be funny, but Death wasn't funny.
I think the funniest part is someone actually pointed out this to me on Reddit that Death is actually he's been responding to comments about him. Did you see this, Eric?
I did not, but oh my god, I need to.
So I just want to say the comments are straight up hilarious. I'm just gonna read some. So someone wrote, "There's no way I would pay to see Death," and Death replied, "Don't worry, dying is free unless you have student loans, in which case your family is left with that burden." And one more. "We definitely could have done without Mr. Death. Glad you got X'd out." And Death replies, "Ouch, this comment hurt me more than that time I reaped thousands of people on the Titanic." Like it's just that dark humor that for me. Like,
I changed my mind. I want him to go for it now. I'm sad.
He reminds me. He's in the vein of that dark humorist of Oliver Graves from last season, and I loved Oliver Graves, and I loved Death. Now we're gonna get flagged as like cultists. We're worshiping Death on this podcast. But anyway, I really enjoyed this guy. Do you have any other thoughts on him?
Well,
no.
Death.
What was that?
Rest in peace, Death.
Rip in peace, Death. Rip in peace. All right. Let's talk about how do you pronounce this next act? Could you tell me, Eric?
That's your way of saying I don't know how to pronounce this, and I'm gonna pass that on to you. So I'm gonna pass on that one.
Potato. It's Nilovo Youth Choir. I think I did it right. They are a choir of kids. Is this our third choir this season?
I don't know.
I think this is 3. I don't know. Like I said in the past, choirs always have the bad end of the deal on America's Got Talent. They always follow the same trajectory. They make it to the live shows, they get through the first round, and then they go first during like the semifinals, and then they're cut there. Maybe they make it to finale night, but they always finish in the bottom half. And I thoroughly believe that of all the brackets on America's Got Talent, the choir is probably honestly the worst. Like that, it's the hardest. What are your thoughts on choirs and this act in general?
Well, I'm going to skip my thoughts on choirs because I usually don't like them. Having said that, I skipped the sob story for this act, but they're a pretty damn great choir. Some of the leads I thought were pretty damn spectacular, and they had a lot of energy. Are they good enough to defy the odds? Don't think so. I enjoyed it anyway.
Yes. They perform, what was the song that they did?
It was some African song. I don't know what
it was. A very like African-infused, like cultural performance. And I enjoyed it. I actually really thought it was pretty good. The one of the singers of the one of the first singers did sound a little nasally to me, but otherwise I thought for the most part,
most of the other singers were pretty damn impressive.
Overall, very, very well-rounded group. Whenever I hear a good vocalist in a choir, I always feel so bad, like a little part of me, because you should have gone solo.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say that, but I'm like, if we just focused on you, like, you know how it is. But they were good. Maybe my favorite choir this season. I don't remember the other ones.
Definitely my favorite choir. Better than the Golden Buzzer choir, I think.
There had to have been. I'm thinking. Chat, if you're watching this, let us know. There was the Golden Buzzer choir, and was there another one? If you're team me, there was. If you're not, they're team Eric. So I don't know where I was going with that, but just let us know. Otherwise, any final thoughts on them?
Nope.
All right, let's talk about. I was trying to think of a better segue after death. I was going to say let's talk about falling off cliffs, which it was a close segue. They are a virtual reality act. They are some guys, and their act is all about taking away people's fears, like kind of getting them more comfortable with it. They do this whole shtick where they bring Howie Mandel on stage. They put a VR headset on him, and he has to kind of walk across a bridge and try to save someone. What did you think of this act, Eric?
I was gonna struggle to come up with something, then I saw in the YouTube comments someone suggested Shark Tank for this act. I'm like, yep, that's it. This is not an entertainment act, but my God, it's a clever idea.
Like, if you're afraid of the show Shark Tank, like you walk up and there's the people dressed up in suits, and you have to stand in front of them and give your proposal.
I thought I was going somewhere else. I thought you were going like Baby Shark or something like that.
But I could have gone. I was thinking like a literal Shark Tank, like not a literal Shark Tank, a figurative, like in on the TV show. Like you have a fear of giving pitches to millionaires in suits.
Okay, great. Next. I enjoy watching how they get tortured, but that's the extent of it. I don't need to see it again.
Yes, I enjoyed them, but for me, this act seems like a one-off.
100%.
I wouldn't be surprised if we
never see them again.
If this is just because what do you do with this? Like this isn't
nothing.
It's a fun act. It's not a $1 million. Not a competing act. It's a novelty. It's a one and done kind of thing, which we've seen in the past. So as much as I enjoyed it, we always get these couple of acts like in the early auditions that just disappear and then end up getting wild carded in the live shows.
This one won't get wild carded.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if we just
never see them again.
Never see them. I mean, it's cool, but I probably would have said no to them, honestly.
Me too. Because it's not an act.
I don't see where it's you know how
it was cool, but it's not right for this show. It's right for Shark Tank, but not this show.
All right. Well, let's talk about Imane Biesh. I can't pronounce these names. I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry. Imane Biasha. I'm sorry if I'm messing that up. I don't mean it. It is a 10-year-old singer, an opera singer in the vein of Jackie Evancho, because no one is unique at this point on America's Got Talent. But she is performing Nessun Dorma, a song that I personally only know from hearing it performed by Paul Potts.
I only know it from hearing on these shows.
Exactly. I've never heard someone actually perform this in like the real world. Like it's always just this song is more in America's Got Talent than whoever actually owns it.
I can type in the comments right now. You uncultured swines, but
I mean, have you ever seen an opera, Eric?
No, because I'm an uncultured person. Yay. Okay.
I went to a Broadway show once.
I did that too.
I'm gonna get. Anyway, back to Imane. She, like I said, in the vein of Jackie Evancho. What did you think, Eric?
I've seen this exact act too many times to be blown away by it. It was good, but I'm tired. I'm fatigued. I can't.
I wrote my notes.
10 to 12-year-old girls singing opera, singing this exact song. I've seen it so many times. I'm sick of it.
I wrote down in my notes. I actually totally forgot what I just wrote down in my notes. Yeah, I've seen this act before. Where like this has been. Oh, now I know what I was saying. I was surprised she didn't get the golden buzzer. Honestly, like I was. If this act had gone last, I 100 like. First of all, whoever goes last always gets the golden buzzer. But I was 100% thinking that she was going to get it because of what she is the She's the token opera singer that we get every year. And we have had so many over the years. Like, and it's always the same.
And several of them have gotten golden buzzers. So
cut semifinals or cut like first round of first bottom half of finale. She's a good singer. She's talented, but I think at this point she suffers from fatigue. Like, that is like, wouldn't it be a flip if it was like, instead of a girl, it being a boy singing? Like, it's always the same thing. It's always the girls doing opera. Like, it's just, Simon loves the big surprises, but at this point we're so expecting the surprises, and this is by no fault of her own. I think in my mind,
5 seasons too late.
Yeah. I don't know. She's good. She's very good.
She's very good, but not her fault.
All right. Let's talk about, we've only got three acts left. Lucas.
No, we got 4. No, we got 3 acts left, yeah.
Lucas and Falco, who first of all, I think that is a really cool name for a dog. It reminds me of Super Smash Brothers. There's a character Falco, and I never even thought of that for a dog, but it's a cool name. They are, like I said, we're checking boxes. This is our dog act.
Dog act.
Every year, Eric. Literally, like, it's just checking. It's
my notes. I'm gonna read my notes verbatim. My notes. Dog is cute, but like with child opera singers, I've seen this too many times to be blown away by it anymore.
And they never win. And like, that's.
Yep.
It's gonna be that. This is what I've said in the past. It's just, the show is just doing the same thing. Like,
even your golden buzzer, which I know now who it is doing the same thing as another act.
True, exactly. But it's like reading a book, the same book over and over. Like, it's good the first time, but after the second time, I can't even. Your brain starts to like lull a little bit. You start to notice like it's the same thing. Like, and because it's the same thing, there's no difference. It's just gonna play out the same way because it's just everything is a copy and paste. The same results. We're probably gonna get like Eric Chen winning again. Like, I don't know.
No, I don't think that's happening, but
you know what I'm saying. Like,
I know what you mean.
What is happening is that this show is just becoming 95% filler acts for like the few chosen ones, and that's just how it is.
Well, on that sad note, let's get to your golden buzzer.
How big of a surprise would it be if it wasn't my golden buzzer act?
I would literally eat my hat. I know you used to say it right that all the time. I don't have a hat, but I would find one. I would eat it. Let's
talk about the act. You got to add a graphic like right here so that I can like smash it like right here. Verba Shadow, they are my golden buzzer act of the season. Like I said, checking boxes. This is our shadow dancing act. We get one every season. In the vein of Attraction, of Catapult Entertainment, of anyone else you can think of off the top of your head?
Nope. This is not the act I've seen it before a lot, but I have seen it before. Silhouettes, I think, was on the show.
Silhouettes, yes. But they're good. Like,
they're really good.
They're really good.
This is the type of act that, while I've seen it before, I can still see it again and I enjoy it. So
it's like there's like somewhere on the planet there's a factory. And they're just like pushing out acts like that are America's Got Talent. Like there's the girl, the girl opera singer, there's the dog act, there's the dancing tribe with the sad story, there's the comedian with the one-liners, there's the people with disabilities who can do really cool things. Like, it's just, I kind of need something a little different. Do you know? You get it, Eric?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. But they're good and they're above average. So I gave them my golden buzzer. Can they win? Probably not, but I'm going to take a chance.
That was Sally's mine too, so to be fair.
All right. I didn't mean to sound too harsh with that. Was that too harsh with the...
No, not at least.
It's just... Anyway, I enjoy them. Maybe they can win. I mean, Attraction won, but they're more the exception than the rule. But if they win, I would get bragging rights. And at least I've planted my flag. At least I picked my team. I hope we can get some good performances out of them because like I said, I am always mesmerized by these kinds of things. Like there's just something about it that's just it's so simple and yet so beautiful. Like all it needs is the right song, like a touching story and gold. Like it prints money. Like that's what you got to do. That's the thing. I'm hoping they could go through very far, hopefully to the win, because that would let me win and wear a crown at the finale podcast.
Okay.
Let's talk about final act of the night.
Our golden buzzer of the night.
Our golden buzzer, but not really. Golden buzzer act of the night. It is Ben Trigger, which that's a cool last name. I don't know.
Our golden buzzer act, yeah.
So he has a story. He's in musical theater and dance, and he was bullied as a kid. He tells this really like, if it, like I was kind of, because I thought this was the last act of the night, I was expecting a golden buzzer moment, and I was thinking there wasn't going to be another episode. Like this was going to be it. So I was like, oh, okay, I can totally understand why this is our golden buzzer act. And then it takes a twist, Eric. What happens?
I didn't watch all of it. I was too stupid for that. I did watch that him lay his back on the golden buzzer and then it actually goes off.
Yeah, it basically becomes like a stripper's dance. Like
yeah, basically.
Which as that was happening, I was like, wait, this got the golden buzzer?
Nick Cannon gave his golden buzzer to a stripper.
Really?
You don't remember that? Dorothy, the 90-year-old stripper.
Right. She did like, I don't even know what to describe it. I recently watched the It Chapter 2 trailer, and there's like that act is gonna give me terrifying flashbacks. But I really was confused by this act. I don't even know. I don't even know how he got through. Can you explain, Eric?
I don't know either. But what I want to talk about is not how staged it was. I want to talk about. Of course it was.
Let's talk about that first a second, because in the past we've had people accidentally touch the golden buzzer,
and nothing happens.
Nothing happens, but it happened now. So
it was staged.
What's going on?
Had to be planned.
I guess. All right. What was the other point?
The other point is that whoever's doing the YouTube titles for America's Got Talent this year needs to be fired.
What did they say this time?
They just put it like all caps, golden buzzer, like because any other golden buzzer. Like it's a real one.
The golden buzzer.
No, we didn't. But that doesn't. It's clickbait. I don't like clickbait.
America's Got Talent is basically a YouTube clickbait video. The entire show. Watch wait till the end. That's what it is.
Whoever's doing the titles on YouTube needs to be fired. Badly. This is such a downgrade in all the titles for all our videos.
Be nice. You know it's probably like some poor underpaid intern who's doing it. Like the bottom.
I'm aware, but they're still terrible at it and they need to study up.
What was the worst YouTube title that you saw this season?
By far, Cody Lee defeats autism and blindness. Because that one wasn't that one pissed me off. That was a fireable offense right there.
Anyway, I enjoyed this episode overall. I think at this point, like, I'm just having fun with it. I'm sad a little bit, but the big takeaways for me are the young dancers and the shadow dancers.
100% agreed.
Everyone else,
bye.
But those two,
maybe the choir, I think.
The choir in a third place.
Yeah, but the other two actors are clearly first and second.
Like I said, the show is just 90% filler, 10% actually potential winners. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it is. That's what the show has become because reasons. And that should be the title. It's just this gift, the shit that I don't even know.
No, that's not the title. The title is Let's Talk About Death.
Let's
already established that.
All right. Well, that is our episode. Any final thoughts on it, Eric? Any judges? Anything going on in the AGT sphere?
Nope. But let's put this episode to bed, shall we?
Let's put it to death. We need death.
Let's dig this episode's grave and bury it in the ground.
I wish I had known we were going to be doing death puns, because I would have done some research and I would have prepared a very, very. It would have covered all the letters of the alphabet with the bullets of puns.
I'm sure you would have. Sucks.
The biggest shame is I'm not going to be able to use it in a different podcast, because we lost it. We lost Death.
And he's gone to a better place.
Actually, he's gone to a worse place.
Okay.
He's not on the show anymore, which basically, if you're not, like, for America's Got Talent, if you don't make it, they make it seem like not getting through on to the next round.
They make it seem like it's death.
Like it's death. Like you're just taken outside, out back, and just put down. Like, that's it.
Yep. Anyway,
I am Adam
on
Samuel.
that morbid note.
I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox, or on my two websites, AdamSoapbox.com and AdamCVblog.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, EricAscher01 on YouTube, Eric_Ascher on Twitter. And I obviously uploaded 12 videos from that Katie show, so if you're curious about how it was, you can watch the videos.
We have to have Katie on again sometime.
That is 100% the goal. Kathy Turner, you're watching this. Make it happen.
That podcast we did with her might be one of my favorites we've ever done on the show. Maybe even my number one favorite.
It is. We'll edit Millen to do it all, basically. Time.
So there will not be an Adam's TV podcast episode next week, but there will be in the following week. Yeah. And
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope you watch some fireworks, get some popcorn, do something fun. I actually have a wedding to go to, but otherwise, we'll see you next time. Peace.